Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of State Champs Poolside Podcast. We are very excited to bring season 2 of this program. And right off the bat, I want to say, before we introduce everyone here, I do want to send a shout out to Sarah Davis, who was the host of this show last year. Was kind of just something we really wanted to do to engage some of the communities that, quite frankly, don't get the coverage that they deserve. And the swim community in the state of Michigan is definitely one of those, despite all the accolades and the triumphs that we've had from swimmers, both on the girls and the boys side. So it was a show that we wanted to bring some much needed attention to. Sarah stepped up to the plate. And David Zulkiewski is here. Really appreciate you taking the time and helping guide her through the process. So we are moving on to season 2. We may have some maybe guest hosts or something along those lines throughout the season, but the bottom line is we're here, and we're going to be doing this not only through the fall, but through the winter, so through the boys' season as well. So a lot of swim talk here over the next several months. So my name is Lorne Plants. I'm the executive producer, vice president of operations for the State Champs Sports Network. I host a lot of the programs, mostly on the football and the basketball side, but I do cover a lot of swimming because State Champs is a network that, quite frankly, prides ourselves in covering all the sports and giving everyone as much due time as we can. I've also very involved with the Detroit Athletic Club High School Athletes of the Year, and there's always some very, very talented swimmers. Justine Murdoch just won from a year ago, who was in the running to be a finalist. It was interesting when we had the awards. She was actually in Nebraska at the Olympic swim trials, giving us a Zoom call, telling her how much she appreciated being nominated for the award. And here she was about to swim some of the biggest, quote unquote, the biggest meet of her life. So, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen, David, help me pronounce your name again. It's Zulkiewski, right?
Zulkiewski, yep.
Zulkiewski. All right. I apologize, but great name. All right. And David is a teacher, and he's the girls swim head coach at Bloomfield Hills High School. You're also heavily involved with MISCA, the Michigan Interscholastic Swim Coaches Association. So, David, of course, lots of great knowledge and loves talking swimming. And we welcome our guest today, Daniel Torriglia, who is a teacher at Brother Rice. He is the head swim coach at Birmingham Groves on the girls' side, and he assists with Brother Rice on the boys' side. And then you're also involved, both of you, with the Birmingham Swim Club. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yeah, I coached Birmingham a few years back, and Danny has since moved on. He's taken over there, and I'm kind of on the parent side now. My kids are over at a club down the street, but my wife and I both worked at BCC a long time ago. So yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome to you both.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Thank you for having us.
No, welcome. And Danny, thank you for being here. And I'm sure both of you are, this is a very exciting time of year, especially this year compared to the uncertainty that went into last season.
Yeah, it's been nice not having to worry about things getting canceled every time we step on a pool deck. So it's great to be back to somewhat normal. I mean, we're still masking up, but just knowing that things are happening for sure this year has definitely been a big advantage to us and our girls. So it's great to be back.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
David, if you could just talk on the enthusiasm, the anticipation, the excitement, the competitive juices now are in full swing as the season gets going, and certainly a season that we have a lot more hope for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. The girls are feeling a lot better about things. We had a chance to go away to camp, which was great. You build up some of that team spirit. We're not practicing in lakes or out in the dark in the middle of the morning trying to find outdoor pools. So we had our first meet last night. It just felt so good to have fans in the stands and just that hum and that buzz before the meet. And kids are feeling really good. And we're used to the masks. We made the adjustments and we're good there, but we're back, we're racing and, a few little adjustments, but we're good. So.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great season, and I can't wait. I just want to take a quick side note to say, hey, guys, Poolside is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Lawrence Tech wants you to recruit yourself. Just go to LTUathletics.com and click on the Recruit Yourself link. Academic and athletic scholarships are available in over 24 varsity sports. Poolside is also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. All right, guys, well, let's get into it, and we want to kind of talk about some of those that some of the names we're going to hear in a few months, because they're the ones that we should be paying attention to that might make some real noise this season. And Danny, why don't we start with you?
Well, I'll start with one of my own swimmers, Karen Austin. She's returning second fastest 500 girl in the state. She's been putting in a lot of work. She's committed to the University of Buffalo. So we're excited for that, but she's really ready to go for this one last year to show this state what she's got. She broke 5 minutes last year for the first time. So we're excited to see what she can do. But I mean, there are plenty of swimmers, especially in, our area alone, just in the Birmingham, Bloomfield area that, are really going to make some noise this year. Seaholm's got some kids, like Sam Clifford. You have Julia Wechter from Marion. You've got a lot of fast swimmers in this area. So our county meets are going to be exciting. State meets obviously going to be an amazing meet. So we're excited to see what they can do.
Yeah, and I think the OA Red, we're both gonna be a little bit biased just because we're both in it. But yeah, as you look across the state, Jennison's doing some great stuff. Grace Allback, she already came out with some great swims in some of the sprints, which is just outstanding. The breaststroke seems to be getting faster and faster every year. Got some young and up and comers there. And again, Seaholm's leading the way, but you go to the middle of the state, you got people like Hannah Williams, who we saw at state meet last year, do some great stuff. And Rusha out of Troy, she's doing a great job. South Line, I think, already picked up a couple of quick state cuts, I think, in the breaststroke as well. So yeah, it's good to see some exciting names there. Still waiting to see a few things from teams like Pioneer and East Grand Rapids, but I'm sure we're going to see some fast swimming out of them, and we'll see how it goes here in the next few weeks.
What's always fun is to talk about some of the teams. It is a team sport as much as anything that we should be, on the lookout for, and teams that, maybe have some new leadership, or have some swimmers who have now entered the fray. I mean, one of the unique things about swimming is in conjunction with sports like cross country, you can have freshmen come in and instantly almost transform your program in a variety of ways. So a lot of times, the stars we see are stars for 4 years. And so, maybe there are some teams that all of a sudden are really going to be making waves, no pun intended. And I know that Cranbrook is, as I mentioned at the top, Justine Murdoch and Gwen Woodbury and all the fantastic swimmers that they've just graduated. Is this a team that is maybe steps back a little bit to the pack, or is D3's competition just stepping up to meet them?
No, I mean, you graduate a class like that, it's going to be a little tough to repeat. And Paul Ellis is doing an awesome job with those girls. But yeah, when you graduate D1 college recruits and right. Kids going to Olympic trials, they've slipped back a little bit on our preseason rankings. But you turn around and it's those pillars of the swimming community. East Grand Rapids jumps back up, Marion jumps back up, but Cranbrook's going to be in the mix. I mean, they always have some talented kids. So I'd expect to see them, top 10 or top 5 team at the end of the year. Anybody
else in Division III you think, Daniel, that we need to be on the lookout for?
I think a team like Hamilton's always, a team that can show up, especially at state meet. Always have your eyes on. EGR going back down to D3 this year, coming from D2 this past year. That always mixes things up because they're such a deep team. So really, it's the teams that are going to have those top elite level talents that are really going to be able to do some damage because you just have so much depth coming from EGR. So I think Hamilton's somebody to look out for.
And Hamilton's got an interesting one. Eric Talsma, he was the only coach in program history. He's moved on to become the AD. His longtime assistant, Matt, has taken over. you're going to see some great stuff. This is a kid who grew up in that program. He's from Hamilton. He's going to do some awesome stuff. Those kids believe in that system. There's going to be some growing pains for them. But yeah, Hamilton's always one that surprises you at the end of the year. So.
Well, and it seems more often than not, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but my memory as, maybe not as strong as it once was, but Division III especially, you've got teams winning state championships that don't even win a single race. And it seemed like we see those point championships happen in Division III a lot. So depth obviously is huge on these programs, and consistency throughout, and consistent winners throughout. Even if you're not winning the race, just always being in the mix there to qualify for a championship, and then those points gather up. OAA Red Division II. Does it look like you guys are the ones everyone's gunning for?
Yeah, I mean, you look at Seaholm. I mean, they I don't know if they even had to reload. I mean, they had everybody in the wings waiting. Yeah, I mean, Seaholm, Rochester Adams, runner up last year. They're in the mix already preseason. And Danny's team, we got him preseason, I think 6th or something like that. Farmington's right behind him in 7th, and Bloomfield, we're the only Division I team in that mix. So, we know we've got our work cut out for us here in the next few months. We're excited to be in that division, but just an incredible amount of talent. And going back on what you said, Lorne, so much depth. You're not just taking 1 kid or 2 kids in an event. You're scoring possibly 3 kids at state meet. You've got lots of options on relays. You're scoring all 3 relays top 8. I'm sure Danny can talk about that a little bit with his team. You got to figure out a way to get all 3 relays in. And when you have that much depth, you have so many cool options, and you can strategize a little bit and look at individual qualifiers. So, yeah, I mean, not to be biased because both of us are in the OA Red, but yeah, watch out here. It's going to be a fun year again.
Yeah, there's, Seaholm, like you said, so obviously the team we're all chasing right now, but Adams and us, we both have, a little bit more depth than we've had in years past. So I think, it's going to be a little more competitive at our league meets. And then once we get to state meet, looking at teams like Grand Rapids, Northview, Jenison, they're both, they're very strong this year. They both had great showings last year at our state meet. So, there's going to be a lot of movement that can happen, especially in that like top 6 range, and even, top 8 maybe, with some teams really fighting it out at the end. So, relays are going to be key. This year we're a little deeper, which helps me with some relay options. We have a good freshman class that came in. I didn't graduate. We only graduated 1 kid from our state team. So we're excited to see, us be able to get back to that level where we're competing for those trophies. So we're excited.
Yeah. As we talked a little bit, Daniel, before, State Champs has been around for 19 years now. So first year I get into the swim scene in the fall of 2002, all of a sudden I find myself at Pioneer High School. There's this swimmer named Carolyn Joyce, and she's just destroying the competition. You get a chance to meet Denny Hill, and when you hang out with him, his joy is just kind of infectious, and how much he loves teaching the game of swimming and mentoring these girls, and just, that was a time of Ann Arbor Pioneers' true just dominance, and a lot of the 2000s were that way. What about Pioneer today? We're looking at a decade later. I would imagine, kind of like their track program, they don't rebuild, they reload.
Yeah, I mean, Steph's done a wonderful job. She they came up short 2 years ago, dominated last year. I think it's still a very young team. They're going to keep doing some great stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's great to see, and you see the purple and white walk in there. You're getting ready to see some great swimming.
Yeah, the amount of depth they're showing, especially at the D1 level. I know they swam Mercy last night, and it was a very fun meet to watch, I heard. But you had 1, 2, and 3, and 4 kids from their team are getting state cuts, in each event last night. So that's very impressive to see meet 1. So they're definitely going to be the team everybody's chasing in D1 this year. So
how about the up and comers? Who are the ones we're not talking about now that we will very soon?
It's tough. I'm going through preseason rankings. You're seeing a lot of familiar faces. I think, when it comes to teams, I think Danny mentioned it with Jennison, Fenton. You've got some top tier talent like with Gracie Olson. And I think they got a couple of freshmen that came in too. So, those teams that have kind of been in the mix, maybe in the bottom, like that 10 to 15 range, your Jennison and Fentons are jumping up. In D1, Mercy slips a little bit, but Mike Vinos is always doing some great stuff. Danny works with him at Rice. He's doing an incredible job. So those girls are going to be in there. Zeeland's got a new head coach this year. They're in a top 10 preseason. I think we're going to see some good stuff out of them. But it's tough. You look across what we've got for preseason, and it's a lot of the same names, the same coaches, the same team. So we'll see. I'm curious. I'll be watching along with everybody else.
Yeah, the freshmen this year there's not as much data on them as there has been in years past with, the lack of meets that occurred last year. So, there's probably some teams out there that are going to come out of nowhere that, we haven't even mentioned yet that probably have some freshmen that no one's really heard of. So it'll be an exciting year in that aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that, you didn't get to really scout, a lot of these really young swimmers and they were maybe kind of doing things wherever they could to, get ready. And so now we're going to see them and it'll be exciting. All right. Well, we are just coming out of an Olympics. Which again is always fascinating, and again this year, and every Olympic year, I'm just glued when the Olympic swimming events are happening, and it was exciting as ever. We got to see Allison Schmidt do it again. Get another medal, which again is incredible, and she's been incredible to state champs with giving us her time over the years. She was our little Wendy's Student Athlete of the Week back in 2008, and went on to win the DAC Female Athlete of the Year in the Olympics and national championship. Her career has been outstanding, and she's been a great advocate for the sport. And this is usually about the time that we see interest grow, David, in the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like we were talking with the, everything going on with COVID, a lot of middle school programs were shut down. A lot of clubs couldn't handle, that off-season training load because of the, social distancing. So numbers are down. We were down over 100 in the OA last year. The boys in the OA were down 120, 150, I think. So to have that, to have that spotlight on our sport. To get prime time for a full week, you get a lot of those kids that are, just on the outside looking in and like playing at the pool, and now all of a sudden they want to be that next Annie Laser or Caleb Dressel, and we're excited. You're going to see numbers go up. My wife works at a swim school here in the area, and their numbers are skyrocketing now. Kids want to get in the water. Parents want see all the great opportunities in swimming. We're looking forward to it. Like I said, everything from learn to swim, and then I'm looking forward to seeing our numbers go up at the middle school level. And our freshmen, even though they didn't have a middle school team the last year and a half, our numbers are up. Our freshman numbers are higher than a traditional year. So we're seeing it, and just the talk. The kids. They can relate. Especially with a number of Michigan kids, Allison Schmidt, the Duluths, and Annie Laser. These are kids that they see on record boards. These are kids that swam in the same pool as them. So there's even more of an investment there. And we got to ride that wave out, and get these kids going, get them excited about the sport, show them all the great opportunities, and help them realize those goals. So I don't quite have the hands-on that Danny did. He's got an Olympian on his record board at his pool. So I'm going to let him talk a little bit about that. But yeah, it's been a great summer. So.
Yeah, it's been, obviously for our team, our girls, they got to do a meet and greet with Annie once she got home, which, was an awesome thing for them. We're also lucky she worked at Birmingham Country Club where I coach too. So, my numbers there were up by about 30 kids this year. My Groves numbers are up. The girls, it's cool. They're all wearing Annie Laser caps whenever they can get their hands on one. But just getting to see that name on the record board, she was around a little bit last year. She was training in our pool during the shutdown. when she was home, for Christmas break. So my girls got to interact with her a little bit then, but, getting to see her and having someone that's so like close. I mean, she literally her family still lives, less than a mile from our pool. So whenever she's in town, she's able to come by. And it's just, I can see, I've got a lot of girls that want to swim breaststroke right now because they think that there's something magical in our pool. And I'd say looking at our breaststroke history, there probably is. So it's definitely been, an uptick, and I'm hoping, like Z said, numbers have been down the last couple of years, last year especially. So, getting these kids excited about it. Also someone like Ryan Murphy, who, works with Goldfish, who's, a local company that's, seeing him as well do well has definitely helped the sport a lot. So.
Yeah, it's great when they get back, and they all do. I mean, they all whatever heights they achieve, whether it's just at the collegiate level or beyond, they always want to come back and share that high school experience. I think that's what makes high school swimming so outstanding is the fact that they just love it and they remember those times as some of their most treasured in their lives, regardless of the accolades and big events that they've been in. And I will say this, it really is just talking to them and saying, hey, I know we're in the pool at 6 a.m., but that's okay because it's gonna just rejuvenate you for the day so that you're nice and focused so that you can get your classes in and feel good about yourself. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah, my girls were whining this week a little bit about that early mornings with school starting, but they're going to make it. They'll be fine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So before we close our episode 1, some of the big events that are coming up, David.
The beginning of September, we're just getting a lot of dual meets in. There'll be some good ones to see. I'm sure we'll talk about, some of the highlights and some of the good dual meets to keep an eye out for. Middle to the end of September, we're going to be hosting our big invite. We'll have Groves out with us. And then end of September, beginning of October, you're going to start seeing your mid-season invites, your county meet, Oakland County, Macomb County meet will be going on. And then the Miska meet, middle of October. And it's a little crazy to think that we're 8 weeks out already from taper. So it moves quick. So yeah, dual meets the next few weeks into an invite season, and then league meets the first week in November, and we'll get ready to go right before Turkey Day for the state meet. So.
Yeah, and I see, in our notes here, the Miska Clinic is back with some Olympic names.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to have everybody come out. New venue this year. We're going to be up in Grand Blanc on September 17th. We've got Ray Luz, who coached Lily King and Annie Laser, Indiana coach. And, hometown, home state, Dan Gelderloos is from Calvin College. He's going to be out working with us and talking to our coaches. So love to have everybody out. Registration's on our website. And more coaches we can get out there, the better. Michigan, when you look around the country, we have such a strong following, coaches committed to the long term, the communication, the education, and those type of things. So we have a pretty big conference. I'd love to get some names and faces back out there. A little quiet. We had to cancel last year. So come out and join us for a great day, handing out some great awards to some great people, and learn a lot of good stuff from these college coaches.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you can, for parents or athletes out there who maybe have not had an opportunity to really learn about what the Miska Clinic is, what happens there, what takes place, what are they going to walk away with?
Yeah, so our Miska Clinic, it's pretty much all coaches, officials, that type of stuff. So we'll have a full day. Ray Luz will speak twice. His assistant coach is going to join us as well to speak. Dan will speak twice, and then we'll have a coaches panel at the end of the day. Just a lot of Q&A. Our awards banquet is during the day, so all our coaches get recognized for all the great stuff they've done, and we've got to do 2 years worth of awards. Matt Mann, Bruce Harlan Awards, Zone Coach of the Year. So lots to celebrate, and then we wrap it up with a coach's social and some dinner, and just hang out, and you learn so much. You guys know, whether it be football or basketball, that the end of the games, the end of the meets, to socialize a little bit, and now we can get you away from the pool and just have some great swim and dive talk. And our diving coaches have a whole panel, so they'll be doing it. They'll be doing some stuff all day as well.
That's cool. And Daniel, it's been a long time since colleagues in the swim community can have an opportunity to get together in this type of setting, this type of venue. Not only are they getting educated, but it's like you said, it's a huge social time to just reconnect, and that just it enhances the bonds throughout the community.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when we're on that pool deck, it's, time to battle against each other. But as soon as you get us off the pool deck, I mean, even on, we all get along very well. And that's something I love about Michigan. Our coaches, they get along so well, regardless if you're east side, west side, which, I saw it at the Miska golf outing last year. We were able to go in the spring, and, that was a joy to just, be with those people who, you hear all about, but really to get to talk to each other, collaborate, see what everybody's doing training wise. Cause that's, there's a lot of new training out there. It's not the old just yardage training that, was a lot of old school style. There's a lot of new things that we're doing that seem to be working for our kids. I mean, they keep getting faster, which we thought would stop happening after, some of the tech suit changes in 2008. But they just keep getting faster. So it's great to see. It's great to be able to talk to other coaches and see what everybody's doing.
Yeah, it blows me away. It blows me away.
Danny will be getting an award. He was our zone coach of the year last year, so he'll be getting a plaque, and we'll be celebrating all his great accomplishments.
All right, and more to come. As we get into this season and the competitive juices get flowing. Well, I'll tell you what, for those of you who enjoy this kind of content, it's going to be happening all season long. Also do it in the winter when the boys get going. It's going to be a very exciting season. Poolside is going to be both a video and an audio podcast this year, so whether you just want to kick back and check it out on YouTube, enjoy the conversation, you can do that. But you can also listen to it wherever you get your podcast, whether it's on Apple or Google, or it's a great site that we use called Spreaker. So Spreaker.com. It has all the State Champ Sports podcasts, and we do a lot. And you can check it out and listen anytime you like on demand. So, gentlemen, I appreciate your time this morning, and we'll do it again next week.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Thanks for having us.
Okay, thank you. That's our show this week. I want to thank our sponsors, Lawrence Technological University and the Michigan High School Athletic Association. For David and Daniel, I'm Lorne. We'll see you guys next week.